Welcome to Calling the Audible Playoff Special. I am not Mokon. I am Iggy
Is
Magnus.
that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a thing. It's a fact.
Nah, it has to be good or bad. That's the way the world works.
You assign.
There is no gray.
You assign the positivity, negativity, affect on that. But I am not Mokon. I am Iggy Magnus hosting the show today. With us, Manu Alarrois, first time as an analyst here on the show. Welcome, Manu.
Great FPF studio, and I'm happy to be a part of this podcast for the first week of the playoffs.
Awesome. And Eagle at Master Control.
Always.
Manu,
Yes.
for those who don't know you, two-time All-Star, two-time FPF champ, two-time award winner, one-time bowl champion. By the way, I don't know if you realize this, you got your 100th win recently. I don't know when it was exactly. You have 102 wins to your name on your profile,
Wow.
so you now reach the 100, the Century Club in the victory department.
That's a milestone in my Hall
Yeah.
of Fame now.
Maybe that's up. No, actually, you need to play more. You
got
need
like
to
that's
keep
10
good.
more seasons to go.
Hey,
Yeah.
a long way to go, but I'm here to stay. So
There you go.
thank you for bringing it up. It's cool to see the accomplishments like that.
Exactly. The knockout round has begun. We've had games in Code 1, Code 2, some games in Tier 1, Tier 2, so the action has started. We're going to be deep diving into some of the games that happen. We'll preview some of the games that are to come. Eagle?
Before we do that, a reminder to all current existing teams or people that have played in the past years, your exclusivity to registration has expired. We have now opened up registration for everyone. So if you're not aware, this year, with all the changes happening to the facilities across the island of Montreal and beyond, what I think we're now calling the Greater Montreal Area, GMA, is that a real thing? There is very little availability, so we're a little bit hesitant on opening up registration to everyone all the time right away. But Winter 2024 is open to all people, so if you want to register as an individual, go ahead and do that. If you want to register as a team now, you're able to do that, so that's really cool. And then as well, also new and registration available, if I could say sentences properly.
Oh, yeah.
FPF Fast Break, which is a new format we're trying out for our charity tournament, which is a 3-on-3 FPF league. So on Thursday,
league
December
or-
21st.
League or just
Oh, I love
one-time
this.
tournament?
Oh, God, do I love this. Oh, I'm so upset right now. I'm so upset. Thursday, December 21st, it's a little charity tournament, 3-on-3 flag football, very different in terms of the way we play it. Information here in terms of how that all works, registration link on the page, so go ahead and check that out, see if it's something you're interested in. It's only $275 for a team. You get yourself 3 games plus a knockout game, so 4 games minimum, essentially. The games are fast. They're like 60-minute games.
Oh, yeah.
Really fast. And they're mini
yes,
fields.
yeah.
So there's a new thing we're trying to experiment with. We used to have, so fun fact, neither of you were around for this.
No, but I've heard
The
about
Fall
these.
Cup
Right.
originally started as a Midnight Madness charity tournament.
Overnight, right?
Overnight. So we would start like Friday at, let's say, like 6 p.m. and we'd finish at Sunday at 6 p.m. or whatever. And there was games on all 3 fields every hour
That's
for
crazy.
48 hours type of thing.
That's crazy.
It was insane. But that's also how you ended up with, back then, Division 1 Montreal's finest playing against Division 4
NR.
# no regard
Yeah.
in the match of the century, let's call it. So
Yeah.
it was an interesting format, and people loved it so much, and they wanted to have more football over the fall period that we later changed it from a charity tournament into, unlike a preseason event almost, into a full-fledged cup season, what we have now. Again, multiple iterations of that over time.
Yeah.
But we always got to ask, can we bring back a charity tournament, right? Because, we're playing for prize money for the cup, but it's, can we do something nice for the world and the environment and paying for bottles of wine at the government? And so I feel like you don't get pop culture. That's a reference to Valérie Plante. No? Really?
Sure. Okay.
Shame.
Okay.
Your taxes are going up and you don't even know.
Sure.
Shame.
They're
Doesn't
always
even
going
care.
up. They're always going up.
But anyway, yeah. So we're bringing back the charity tournament. And all the donations and proceeds from the tournament are going to Welfare Avenue. Our goal is to hit 5,000 through registration, raffles, and donations and everything. And we're gonna have door prizes, all the fun stuff that goes along with it. So trying to bring back the community aspect, which we have for our own community, but trying to make a difference in the larger community.
It's a different game. I played it twice. It's so much cardio. It's great. Like it's dizzying amounts of cardio. Like it's fun though, and it's all like we said.
The rules are on the site, so go take a look at how the setup is, general rules, possession changes, penalties, subs, how that all works essentially. But very fast.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
Yeah.
But neat.
Yeah. Any other?
If you've submitted a rating request, they're being reviewed. We get a onslaught of them over this period of
Yeah,
time.
a
The
lot.
majority are getting approved, which is the good news.
Yeah. There's
But-
not all though. But
Not all of them.
Just-
Some people ask for ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hi, I want to play Div 6. I'm a 90 rated player. My entire team is 90. Can we play?
Yeah. No.
No.
So let's begin the playoff special here of Calling the Audible with what's most top of mind for Manu and I here. Co-ed 1. What? One more.
BuzzFit.
Oh yeah, the BuzzFit.
Hey FPF players, looking to take your fitness to the next level? BuzzFit Gyms has a special offer just for you. Join us today with no initiation costs. Get ready to score big in the gym and on the field. Visit us at BuzzFit Gyms and seize this exclusive deal now.
Now we can begin.
Back to Co-ed 1. Co-ed 1 Wednesday night in Laval was a Co-ed 1 party, a gathering of all the Co-ed 1 teams in the Laval
What happened
Dome.
with TBA versus TBA?
Oh, I took it down. I swear I took it down.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I took it down. I swear. We'll start with Manu. We'll actually start with your game and your first playoff battle there with Deep Balls. Tell me a little bit about that game. Personally, I feel like I asked this question to Seth Galina a lot in last week's show, but I feel like Vultures are not a dark horse team, but just a very dangerous, low-seeded team that can really do some damage. And I think it showed on night one of Co-ed 1 playoffs.
Yeah, you said it well, because of course we didn't have the season that we expected for the first round of this Fall Cup. Only 2 wins. We had one tie to Plenty of Fish, but Plenty of Fish did not have their full roster that day.
Okay.
Still a good battle against them. But yeah, to come back to yesterday, I mean, Ben
Looks
played-
super efficient, right?
Yeah.
14 of 18, 200 yards, 5 TDs, no picks.
Just-
That's a clean game.
That's a super clean game. Ben was on it. He was feeling sick, but it was like a MJ flu game out there.
Okay,
Just playing well and just keeping it composed. And everyone on the team, I got to give a shout out to Emma and Gigi, who made some amazing plays.
Yeah.
Emma with a big touchdown at the end, full field touchdown, big catches, and everyone stepped up. For us, it was a big game. Of course, it's really nice to have James back. Didn't play a lot of games this season because he's got so many things going on.
Yep.
But we're really happy to have him, and his connection with Ben is
It's something else,
Yeah,
right?
it's
It's
something
something.
else.
It's something special, and that's why you guys are, I find, such a dangerous team. Is just that electrifying player in James Drysdale. That was game one. In your
Yep.
second game, that electricity from James was on full display. I think one key play was at the end of the half or end of the game. I think it was end of the half. A team throwing a Hail Mary on offense does not. The last thing on their mind is that you're throwing a pick six. Like, you're throwing a ball into the air 40 yards high. Like, the last thing you think is pick six. And
I think there's film of it, actually.
Yes,
Let me see
there
if I
is.
can find
so
it.
if you can find it in the
There is
meantime.
on
Found
the-
it.
There it is.
so let's see.
Got the police busting at me,
So
but
right
they
there,
can't do
they were probably at the. Oh, we can see it.
Yeah.
There he goes. I mean,
And then we see you all peeking over. Yeah, baby, that's six.
yeah, there you go. You see me, but yeah, I mean, for me, it's the worst thing that can happen if you have the ball and you they weren't even driving the field, but just going for the last play, trying to get a TD, and you get a pick six that just crushes the momentum.
Yeah.
And at that point, after that, it was 33-7 at half. They couldn't do
33-7 at half. Oof.
Yeah. So with that score, because I think we got the convert right after. I'm not sure.
Right.
But that play from James was crazy. He just went up, caught the ball over like.
I'm
3
upset at the
people.
scorekeeper.
No, we're looking at it. We're talking about a different game now because
Oh.
you're not focused.
No.
So go to the Vultures
'cause-
against Easy Fun.
I was like vultures, but the score's wrong. This isn't right.
But Easy Fun. I think it was tough for them to bounce back after the IG team game. From looking from the sideline, I saw a bit of chirpiness in the game.
Right. Yeah.
It was
Yeah. I heard
physical,
about this. Yes.
and it was a tough game for them. I mean, IG team are a really strong team,
Yeah.
and I think they just took the life out of them. They didn't look like the Easy Fun team I've played against. But when I played against them, they had Jeremy White at quarterback. So
Right,
It's a
that's-
different offense, but Nico Blais
Yeah.
is a good QB.
Yeah.
But 19-33, man, it's not gonna do it.
Yeah. So I find it interesting the stat line from both quarterbacks against you. Your defense held both teams to 4 touchdowns combined
Yep.
in FPF and flag football. That's crazy. That especially in the higher divisions where scoring usually comes with ease. That's something that I think really that you can hold your hat on, and something that you might have a surprise for Plenty of Fish. Might be good, might be bad, but if your defense can really hold opposing offenses to 2-3 touchdowns, I think whatever quarterback suits up could that there's signs that you can come out with the victory.
No, definitely, we're really proud of the defense played yesterday, but the first game against D-Balls was pretty tough till halftime. It was really close game, but second half we just made the adjustments and came out there and balled out, and I'm really proud of the team. So I'm happy that we keep on playing.
Yeah, I saw them competing deep balls.
Yep.
So I liked what I from just a few seconds that I was peeking over to your field. I like what I saw out of them. But yeah, eventually the cream rose to the top, and
Yep.
In the end, you got 2 victories. Easy Fun had 2 losses. And their season is done. The last game here that we had was, or not the last one. You touched upon Easy Fun IG team.
Yep.
IG team did advance to play Kiss My End Zone. So we can start. We can start there with Kiss My End Zone IG team. Some of the comments, some of the you see a 50-32 score line. Is that surprising to you, or what runs through your mind?
To me, it was surprising. I thought it was going to be a much closer game, but man, Kiss My End Zone is really on a roll. I'm looking at this, man. Iggy, you have 13 completions and 7 TDs. That's man, that's really good. I mean, you did not have to really drive the field. It seems like most of the time you had short fields.
Exactly. Yeah.
But man, everybody on your team is playing well. Marvin, Vincent, Lucas, Justin. You got Laurie on also making a big impact on defense and on offense. Your team is solid from top to bottom, so it was a bit of a surprise to score, but not surprised that you guys won this game.
Yeah, so the tale from my perspective, plenty in our first game, and then I'll transition into this one. Plenty of Fish gave us everything that they had on defense. It was actually a very it's strange to say, but a very defensive battle against Plenty of Fish. Maud Lacasse actually had more touchdown passes than me, but threw more interceptions. And I thought one of the keys to victory, if Plenty of Fish were gonna upset Kiss My End Zone, was that Maud Lacasse would have to throw less interceptions than I would. And she threw 5 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. I threw 3 touchdowns to 2. So my defense luckily stepped up in critical moments in the game so that the score didn't get so out of reach in favor of Plenty of Fish. They gave me the chance to run my offense and get back into the game, because Plenty of Fish was in the lead. I'd say 90 to 95% of this game. They held the lead. So a couple pick sixes, one from Marvin, one from Vincent Chung.
Yep.
really kept our spirits just high enough to stay in the game. And then with 4 minutes left, when a referee tells me at the Laval Dome especially that there's 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the clock and I'm down by 2, I'm telling my team that this is the last drive of the game and we're gonna score with 4 or less plays remaining. And that's exactly what happened this time. At the 1 yard line, a ball wasn't snapped over my head, and as I joked in our group chat. But so a rough first half led to a better second half for us against Plenty of Fish, and we just carried that momentum and never looked back against IG team. We said it to ourselves. That was the best game we played all season. We played a nearly flawless game, and I was surprised by the score, 50-32. IG team always have battled us very hard. For it to end, your 2 games ended early with 18 points, and then so did this one. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, and for Kiss My End Zone and IG team, it's a bit of a rivalry going on.
Yeah,
I feel like a couple past seasons, like these games are always really intense, and I was lucky to commentate the final during the spring.
Yeah.
It was a really good game, and I feel like you guys won it back
exactly.
this season.
Yeah.
And you may face them again.
Yeah.
Eventually, you never know.
That's the beauty of this Fall Cup.
Fall Cup is fun. Man.
It's because you get these rematch scenarios, and you get this, we lost to you, but now we're meeting up in the finals potentially again, and that could be true for Plenty of Fish as much as it is for IG team, right? These are 2 teams that would have lost to Kiss My End Zone and will want their revenge come the final time, but of course the Vultures might have something to say about that.
We would like to, but it's going to be a fun cup. Few games that are remaining in Co-Ed 1.
For sure. So as we move along to Co-Ed 2, Eagle, your division, and actually I play in it as
do we want to talk about the semifinals and the games coming up just quickly here? Because we got the POF Vultures game, and then the winner of that one goes on to play the IG team, and then the winner of that one goes on to play Kiss My End Zone. Yeah.
So, Manu, like I said, you... it wasn't, I heard something, but it might be rumors, not skeptical. We're not too sure. But you may have a surprise for Plenty of Fish. I'll ask it to you this way. If Vultures are going to win this game, what are 2 main reasons that you would come out victorious over Plenty of Fish? And then on the other side, Plenty of Fish, if they were to win over Vultures or your team, what would be 2 key reasons why that happens?
I think for us to win it's going to take a great effort from the defense to stop Mold's offense. She runs the offense really well. Yeah. She's got her reads that she likes. She's got her intermediate pass that she throws really well. I saw one pass that she did pretty ball down the middle. I think it was to Justin or Theo. I think I'm not really sure. One of their players, but she throws a really good ball. She's a confident quarterback, and for us is going to try to take away that confidence like you guys did. 2 pick six. Man, that takes a QB's confidence away. And if we're able to do that, we can stop their offense because it's high flying. You got Julian McLaren Thompson, Seth Galina, who's a amazing football mind and a great receiver and defensive play caller. Yeah, I mean their team is really good. It's going to be a really good challenge, and for them to stop us, I mean, you got to stop James, you got to stop Ben, you got to try to. But the rusher versus QB matchup is going to be crazy.
That's an interesting one. That's definitely. So that would be one of the reasons would be Julian stopping Ben McMahon, or at least limiting his running ability, scrambling ability. Yeah. And would there be another reason?
I'd say probably go down to converts. After that, it's stopping our converts. We've been working a lot during the season for our converts and found a pretty good 2-point converts like you like Iggy.
Yeah, so, it's something I noticed about Ben McMahon's game where he's like, especially in facing him in tier 2, he kind of knew that he had to go for 2 points in our regular season game. And he outscored me on the 2-point converts, and that's essentially what won him the game. And I think he's taking that to co-ed now. Maybe you can confirm that or deny it, 100%. But I feel like now he's a bit more comfortable with the 2 points. And I feel like he's just going to go for 2 points. And,
Yep.
and it's something that I think if you do, that's an advantage that you do have over Plenty of Fish, a team that's not as confident going for 2. They're more secure and feel better in their odds going for 1.
Yep. Every time we played against them, they went for 1.
Yeah.
They added, and we went for 2. And in our 40-40 tie, that was the key in the game.
That closed the gap. So we will now move on to Co-Ed 2. As Eagle, your battle of free agents, not the way, of course, that you wanted it to go. As the real free agents, please stand up and score 54. Though you were shorthanded in the game, can you give us a little, tell us more than what the stats show? Because the stats really show that Gabriel Lemonde took control of the game and made plays that just really took the life out of free agents no more.
Yeah, so we had an unfortunate situation where we last minute found out that one of our female players wasn't going to be able to make the game. So that really stifled us, essentially. And also, given the fact that we were already very tight on women players this season, we didn't have enough. We only had 2 qualified, so that really put us in a bind.
Right.
So we knew going into this game, we needed to go score for score and milk the clock as much as we could to try and make it either an extra point game or a single possession game, and basically just prevent the slaughter.
Yeah.
And it was going well at the beginning, and then on our third drive in the red zone, on a crossing route, pick 6, other way. In my mind, I'm like, well, that's the game, essentially.
Yeah.
There's like 5 plays left at that point or whatever it was. We have a 4 and outs because, like I said, you have to go score for score at that point, right? If we don't score in that drive, we punt. Even if we stop them, they're up by a score. They get the ball. They're going to score. We're not catching up. So it was a calculated risk. We get stopped on 4th down on our 10-yard line, and then it's just it spiraled out of control at that point. Like, we knew that was going to happen, essentially. Like I said, we still managed to score 4 times, which is good. Considering
the Dallas Odom and his progression or lack of thereof in terms of where you should be at this point. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about Dallas and his progression throughout the season as a whole. I felt like in game 2 against Kiss My Christmas Balls, actually, he looked quite good, but maybe just didn't develop enough of a playbook, or I don't know how you would describe it.
I honestly, I don't even want to talk about him. I want to talk about free agents a little bit more. I mean,
Gabriel
Lemonde had a near perfect game. Now, granted, it's one of those situations where easy to pick apart a team that way, but also, deep balls were very accurate. He was making reads because, you have to play creative, obviously, on defense. So we're shooting weird gaps and, making and trying to disguise it, essentially. But managed to score a bunch of points with his feet in terms of extra points.
Yes.
The women really stepped up at Cherché, and Catherine Bergeron made some great catches. Eric Le Tourneau drove the field on them multiple times on some of those deep balls. And their defense did well and everything. So, I mean, overall, considering it's a free agent squad, I always joke it's like a TikTok type of team where some years, not the social media platform, but the release cycle, where some years you get a really good free agent squad and other years you don't. So.
We have one member of one of those good free agent squad teams here with us, Emmanuel Leroy. And looking at, you talk about Gabriel Lemonde, we'll just wrap it up with him here. He went 6 for 6 on 2-point converts in co-ed 2. I think this is
against a 5.
I understand, but it shows me the idea that he's gonna go for 2, and it's not something that a lot of co-ed 2 teams will do. And this, what do you think, or how far do you think that his comfort level for going for 2? How far could that take this free agents team if he's scoring 5-6 touchdowns a game and putting up another 6 on the board with 2-point converts?
Yeah, so I think what's interesting to me is they went 3-5 throughout the season, and they dropped their first game to balls deep. Then they beat Sub-Zero on that time. They kind of really shouldn't, right? That's the I'll call it the throw game from Sub-Zero, essentially. They lost to Predators by 1. Then they got demolished by Tigres, demolished by Christmas Balls, demolished by Boats. And then they basically got some wins to clean up the season at the end here. The reason I'm bringing this up is because their losses were by extra points.
Right.
So it's possible after those first, first couple games and everything, where they lose 2 games or like there's games by 1 point, and they're like, fuck, we need to figure out
Go
how to
for
do
2.
this and go for 2 and try and like put pressure on the other team
Yes.
to play into us. So I
Yes.
think they've figured that out and learned that that's the style that works for them,
Mm-hmm.
where in games where they can put up a lot of points and it's a shootout, we want to win on EPs, and on games where it's going to be more defensive, we want to win on EPs. So I think they figured out that aspect of their game. I think a lot of their preseason problems or some of the issues they had with matchups are going to disappear in the playoffs, and I think they're going to be extremely competitive. So I'm looking forward to see what this free agent squad can do.
Manu, I have a question for you. In the double elimination bracket, there were 2 losers, Tigres and Balls Deep. Balls Deep, we saw a little bit of that teaser from Chris Rivet on Instagram. Which of these 2 teams, Balls Deep or Tigres, that you think can rebound after this loss and go the furthest into the co-ed tier 2 knockout round?
I'd say Balls Deep could really bounce back. I've saw them play one time at Laval.
Yeah,
They're an athletic team.
very. Yeah.
But maybe the problem is a little bit non-organized. But I say if they stick to more basic concepts and try less to throw the ball down the field, because you're going to play against teams that are better and better since the other teams are going to be eliminated.
Right.
Just trying to find a way to have more concepts, but use your athletes that way instead of trying to find a 40-yard bomb. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's hard. That's hard to win games when you just have that. Just
That
try to mix
style.
it up.
Yeah.
But I'd say Balls Deep have a chance to potentially make a run, even though they have lost their double elimination.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do like the athleticism, but I think it's a little too late to start now changing up your play calling style and really setting in a certain offense. That's what the regular season was for.
Yep.
I'll go with Tigres. I think that their hurry up offense causes a lot of problems for teams, and they've been putting up 30+ points in a lot of their games. They even did it against At Least We Tried in their playoff game, though they were down 59 points. They were always just out of reach. One interception that was brought back to the house by Shelder Valerie was really the score that put At Least We Tried well ahead in their playoff game. But I think that hurry up offense of Tigres, it's more organized. Even though it's chaotic, it's an organized chaos that Tigres have, and I think that poses a lot of problems. I think they can go one round deeper than Balls Deep. There's no pun there, Eagle. Thanks for listening. The next co-ed 2 matchup.
Do we want to talk about the Predators Balls Deep? I know we had film about the play itself.
No, the last play. Yeah. So because you read my article, thank you. Yeah, you know what? I'll just introduce it. If you didn't see it, this will probably very, very likely be on Game of the Week. It's also in my article. So this was the last play of the game. Balls Deep, about I want to say 12 yards out. Going on the last play of the game, going for a touchdown, and we'll see what ensues. I found it interesting as we see the snap. Go! Get him! Go! Not really rushing, right?
Spotted short.
So I looked at this like 20 minutes, breaking it down frame by frame. So thank you, Eagle. So he makes the catch in the air, right about there. And if you advance it a bit more, where he lands either at or a few inches off of that white line that you see on the ground. That white
The ball
line
has definitely not crossed the plane here, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? So that and the other thing is that white line is not the end zone line. It's 2 yards short of the end zone line. Yeah. So when he makes that catch, it's probably, I can't definitively say, but he's probably 1 yard short when he makes the catch in the air. So to me, that's a great call by the ref. to be right exactly where he had to be in the right position to make the right call, and ultimately that was the game for Predators in a victory. But an interesting decision to put Edouard Guimmas at rush there, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, looking at that, it's
Yeah.
close when you look.
It's
at
close.
the video.
Yeah.
But at Stade de Montréal, it's true that the line
Yeah.
is before the actual end zone.
Yeah.
And the ref is standing. I think he is
Yeah.
always standing on the end zone. It's the last
the
play of
goal
game.
line, yeah.
On the goal line, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Especially
ref-
in a three ref
in a
setup.
3-man crew, exactly.
that's what I was about to say. It's playoffs. We have 3 refs.
It's so good.
I mean,
it's so good.
I love it because the stakes are much higher, and you have. Yesterday, I had like 3 amazing refs. So I was like
Yeah.
super happy.
Yeah.
And
I if we can talk about this for an extra minute here, but like I love the 3. Like you said it perfectly. It's such high stakes that not only are like, and we've talked about this on the field, like with refs and other players. There's a financial commitment here too. Like it's not cheap to play, and like and so to see that the high stakes level of playoff football, to have 3 refs to be in the best positions possible to make the right calls, just like we saw there. I there's full value in that, and I personally love it.
I also like the fact that we're very counterintuitive to classic playoff sports, where we come playoffs, the refs let the teams play and things get a little bit more feisty, like the NHL. Suddenly, a little more holding, a little bit more checking. Things are kind of allowed. Here it's the opposite, right? If you got away with shit in the regular season, not happening anymore, right? They're going to see it this time.
Yeah, exactly. Your thoughts?
yeah, one thing I like a lot is also that you have the head ref who is behind the quarterback.
yes.
So you cannot really miss a sack.
Yes.
Sometimes with 2 refs,
The
sacks
angle, if it's on the other side
Yeah.
of the ref that's watching the
Yeah.
line, and the sack doesn't, it happens on the blind side or the
Exactly.
opposite side.
It's-
They can't make the call until they see a flag in the person's hand,
Exactly.
or on the floor or something, right? And by the time they look up to see if the ball has been released, the ball's usually been released.
So most of the time, that call is gonna go for to the side of the QB. But sacks are so important, and they can change the game. So I like that you have a third ref just behind the quarterback. I feel it's really nice.
So next round, Monday and Saturday, is when we see the co-ed 2 games come up. Any of these as matchups you're more interested in than others?
Manu?
I'm looking at it. Kiss My Christmas Balls and At Least We Tried.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be a great matchup. At Least We Tried is the finalists of somewhat
The core.
core team
Yeah.
that play in the final last spring.
Yeah, with Dream Team, exactly.
with Dream Team.
Daryl Dorsley, Shelder Valerie, exactly.
And when I look at their stats right here, Shelder Valerie is having a great season. 7 TDs, 245 yards, 8.4 yards per reception. I think he's definitely the main target, and it's gonna be fun to see how Alex Noel plays against. I don't know who's gonna rush for them, but I know that most of the time they have a really good rusher. Yeah, I see Daryl Dorsley with 11 sacks, 7 PDs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be a good challenge for Alex. I feel he's gonna play well. It's gonna be a good game, and that's my matchup. I'm circling for.
Yeah, for sure. That was, these 2 teams did play in the regular season. Kiss My Christmas Balls did not have one of their better games of the season by far. Yet the final score was 26-19. It was a little too late for CMCB, putting up 19 points in the second half. They made a good enough comeback, but just fell short. And yes, in the first half, Daryl Dorsley did have the better of Alex Noel, but come the second half, Alex Noel did turn it around. So is he going to be able to put a full 60-minute or 44-minute and 10-play game to get the better of At Least We Tried? We'll find out Saturday, November 25th. We'll move over to the women's division. The women's have not yet played their first wild card knockout round matchups. Those actually begin this Saturday, November 18th. Some afternoon games at Loyola, one evening game at Brossard. Well, is there one of these matchups, Manu or Eagle, that catch your eye here?
Can I? Okay, so I'm interested in two games for two different reasons. I'm
Okay.
interested in the Vortex Red Nation because I look
Yeah.
at this as the battle of the offense versus the battle of the defense, who will prevail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested in the X and X Red Bulls because that's not obvious to me in terms of who should win that game. The Brut, I think, I'm gonna
Yeah.
write that one off. I think that one's
Yeah.
pretty obvious. But I'm curious to see what happens in the other two.
Yeah, and Manu, you know, in Red Nation, you do have a lot of some of the girls that play with Vultures in Co-ed 1, like we just spoke about. What is it about the Emma Townsend Asselins, the Gigi Cabillo Abantes, that on defense can put a stop to what the Vortex offense offers?
I mean, I know these two girls
Yeah.
pretty well since I've played a full season with them now,
Yeah.
and Gigi joined us in spring last spring.
At the end, yeah.
These girls are super smart. I'm looking at their season right now. The most points they've allowed in a game is 18.
That's crazy, actually.
It's really impressive.
Well, if you don't count the
Yeah.
game they played against Vortex in week 3, of which they lost 33
Oh.
nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
I missed this
Eh?
one.
-1.
Minus Vortex. But if we forget this game because 33-0, maybe something happened. I will have to ask them what happened this day.
Right.
But man, it was in September, so let's.
That's
move
2
on.
months ago. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
And
Move
now-
on.
Now you have the chance to avenge that bad loss, and hopefully try to beat Vortex.
Yeah, and Vortex's last victory came on October 8th. So, I mean, they're going like a full month without tasting victory.
Yeah.
So, if there is a night where Red Nation can pull off the upset, I think it's this one. Though Vortex is the favorite, and I think come out victorious. And I've said this on a few shows in the past. I think Red Nation are going to keep it close enough to give Vortex a scare. And I think these two teams rematch a little later down the line. And I think Red Nation could, if they put all things together and collect a little bit more information against Vortex in this matchup, I think that Red Nation have a chance to beat Vortex later down the line. So definitely that will come mostly from their defense. They will need, though, Allison Sobel to score at least 2 touchdowns. And that's with me thinking that their defense can get at least 1, maybe 2 pick sixes. Hard to do against a very disciplined and organized Vortex offense. And you know, we keep talking about Red Nation's defense. Don't discount Vortex's defense. They too are stingy when they played all other teams except for their 2 losses against the Brut. Their defense came away with over 20. I'm going to say it's 20 interceptions. That's 15, 17, 19, 20, 21 interceptions. So that defense can turn the ball over, and that offense, we've seen it in the past, they can score points. So if the defense of Vortex sets up the offense for Vortex in good field position, that's something that then can then take and really blow off the water for their game against Red Nation. But again, I think Red Nation keeps it close.
No, 100% it's going to be a close game. I'm looking at that since you talk about Vortex defense.
Yeah.
Catherine Girard.
Oh my God.
What a season.
Yeah.
7 games played, 29 tackles, 9 interceptions, 2 pass defended, and 2 TDs. That's amazing season right there.
Oh, her and Virginie Aubumenard are menaces.
Is Virginie rushing too, or because she has 2 sacks and 6 picks? Is she getting her picks at the rusher position?
No, I believe usually they're like 1 yard sack, like just a 1 yard because quarterbacks don't scramble too much. So
I don't think they're allowed to.
no.
Well,
Well,
like across the plane, rather.
they no, not the quarterback. They'd have to hand it off.
Yeah,
they would have to complete a handoff. So maybe for a couple drives, but I
She can do it
don't.
all.
I've seen her more covering
In
the
coverage,
in coverage. So that moves us to the second game that Eagle brought up. X and X versus Red Bulls. Red Bulls didn't come away with a victory in the regular season. There's some players on Red Bulls that you're familiar with, Manu, in Kayla Gauthier on this team.
Yes,
You know, she's developing her flag football skill set, playing more and more flag games in the past calendar year. It's really a team more or less of free agents.
Yep.
That banded together in the women's division. What would be one thing that they guarantee themselves at least one victory in this Fall Cup season?
Looking at this, it's really going to come down to limiting the turnovers. I'm looking at Rachel she's got 6 TDs to 14 interceptions. If she can clean it up come playoff time, maybe throw 1 pick maximum per game, they could steal the game. But they won the last time they played XNX.
So I think this is the part that's
I
the most
missed that.
interesting to me, right?
Okay.
They played twice this season.
Right.
The
Sorry.
first time XNX beat them 27-19. Second time Red Bulls got revenge. But if you look at all the other games that Red Bulls have played, they've only scored once in all those games.
Yeah.
Except the games against XNX where they scored 3 times in week 4 and then 5 times in week 10 and everything. So I think for me, that's the part that makes this more interesting in that this is a coin toss. This is, like you said, possessions are going to matter, turnovers are going to matter, and understanding how you can drive, where you need to defend, what space you give up, what space you take is going to be way more interesting here.
Yeah, and in that game against XNX, the one, sorry, they did get a victory. I said 0-0 wins. If they are gonna beat XNX again, it was Florence Bro at the quarterback position for Red Bulls. And I had seen her throw against, I believe it was Vortex outdoors in Loyola, and I did like what I saw from her. Very decisive, very quick, releasing the ball and ball coming in with some power on it. And if you can get the ball to players like Rachel Shea, Chloé Corbeil, Magali Ruel, Yves Charbonneau, Kayla Gauthier. These are good receivers in the women's division that have played on other teams, are currently playing on other teams. Magali Ruel, I mentioned this last week. She's one of those players I think that can take the step into Women's 1 for the winter season. Yves Charbonneau, you played against her against deep balls. She's a very good player. The offense is there, so Florence Bro can replicate the game with 5 touchdowns, 247 yards. I think they can come out with the upset victory over XNX. That brings us outside of the complementary divisions. We'll go the rest of the way, kind of descending order. We'll start with co-ed tier 4, and then we'll make our way down all the way to tier number 1. Tier 4 did have games last Saturday. As the knockout round really got us started with tier 4. And was there any of these games from, sorry, I said Saturday, but it was actually Sunday. Were there any of these games that caught your eye, Manu? Something that was rather unexpected, a lower seed superseding a higher seed, or well, forget about the forfeit from Leo's. Thank you, goodbye. Anything catch your eye here, Manu?
Well, Win Diesel with the shutout against Pack a Punch. Pretty impressive. Holding a team to 0 points, even though they didn't really drove the field, but impressive performance from Win Diesel with their quarterback William Seabag. 5 TDs on 12 completions. They played really well, and holding a team to 0 points, man, you got to feel good, because after your defense, you got a lot of confidence going to the next round.
And so speaking of the next round, they
Wait, hold on.
What?
I want to talk about the Houday Threat Level Midnight one too.
But I'm sticking on Win Diesel.
Fine. You're gonna move. Okay, fine.
I'm sticking on just
Do your little bit.
Win Diesel, because we're talking about going into confidence in the divisional round. They now face Ramfins, the number 1 seed. So Ramfins, known for a decent offense, moderate, above average, pretty competent, but notoriously known for their defense. Rushers, quarterbacks do not rush against Ramfin's rushers, and their defense really gets interceptions. If it's not sacks they're getting from their rusher, it's pressure leading to interceptions. So what is it that Win Diesel will have to do to get 2 victories in a row here?
Man, I really don't know because I'm looking right now at Ramfin's plus minus. They're at
Yeah.
115 plus minus.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
No, it's great. It's very good for Tier 4. Absolutely.
This is a team that could possibly maybe make the jump to Division
Right.
D.
Come spring. Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember. Did they won or
They
lose,
won. They won
the
in
spring?
the spring in Div E.
Div E.
Yeah,
So yeah,
they did win. Yeah.
I remember that game. I
Yes.
think the other team was 5.
They
though.
were 5 players.
So,
Bend don't break. Yeah.
but still, yeah, Ramfins is a good team. I like their uniforms with the little
God damn
dolphins
it.
on there.
Mo's gonna love that part if it's a big if Mo listens.
I think Sir William Power would like their uniform. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's impressive. If I look, their only loss has come to Skull in
Okay.
week 3.
Interesting. That was a while ago, but
It was.
Skull are definitely, they know what they're doing out there. Sometimes you get the good Skull, sometimes you get the bad Viking. But for me, for Win Diesel, it's really gonna be on Will Sabag. Like you said, he had a great first playoff game. He's gonna need to replicate that. He cannot let the pressure of, I think it's Chad it must be Chad because Jesse's usually in coverage. Chad Duménil cannot let the rusher get in his face and start trying to roll around and run too often. 3 rushes for 16 yards in his last game is what he needs to do. Only run when there's absolutely nothing in coverage, and be a pass first quarterback.
Yep.
He's probably one of the better natural throwers of the football in all of Tier 4. So go ahead and use that arm. 5 TDs off of 12 completions in his last game. He needs a lot more of that.
For sure. But just before we move on, quickly.
Go for it.
You talked about Chad Duménil,
What?
20 sacks in the season.
No,
in 8
it's
games.
like it's legit. He's crazy.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying he cannot let him get in his head.
No.
He needs to just really get that ball out. Make Chad feel like he's useless out there. Throw in some double huts to get him off balance. Just really don't let him get in your head. Start getting into his head and reverse the roles there.
It's going to be hard when you have a rusher with 20 sacks in the season.
Yeah.
You got to feel confident.
Yeah, for
Congrats
sure.
to him.
Eagle, you wanted to bring up another game from this past Sunday?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Threat Level Midnight and Houday game because this game bothers me.
In what?
First off, let's start off with Houday. 0-8. Minus 120 differential over the
True.
season.
Yeah.
In this game,
Yeah.
they scored 2 touchdowns on offense.
No. Passing touchdowns.
Correct, but they throw, 2 passing touchdowns,
Yes,
essentially.
Yes.
Threat Level Midnight went 2-6, decent season. There's a squad that know each other very well and everything.
Know the game.
I don't know if I'm okay. So full disclosure, I have some friends on
Yes,
Houday as well. Granted, I played with people on Threat Level Midnight and I played against them, and we've known each other for a long time as well. So they're both like friends of mine. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm happy for or if I'm upset on behalf of Threat Level Midnight.
I'm disappointed in Threat Level Midnight.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Tanner and Tyler Keating putting a game together, finally figuring it out, essentially at the end, squeaking through to the next round, like you said, pick 6, 2 on the ground, essentially, a couple extra points that kind of, sealed the deal, essentially. But Jonathan Amir, you gotta be better than that. And it's hard to say that because he didn't do terribly either, but it's not great. And I don't know where this team goes. Do you go into if you go to Division 5 next season?
Oh, no.
I think you lose.
No, yeah.
You go to Division 6, and I feel like you
They're
shouldn't
better.
be 6 anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like this is not what I expect from this team. I don't even know if they're listening at this point because they're gone and goodbye.
Yeah.
But it's so disappointing for me.
It really is. But is it on? I mean, and it could be both. But is it on him or is it on his defense for not getting a basically like? Did they get a stop? I mean. Maybe they got a stop, but it didn't come from an interception to put them in good.
I mean, the
field
pick
position.
6 doesn't help.
The
pick 6 may lead to an extra point, so there's 7 right there. There's the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely an interesting one. See if Hude can package, the recipe to success here against Threat Level Midnight in the following round.
We got a bunch of games coming up in the
Yeah.
divisional round this Saturday and Wednesday.
Yes. Manu, pick one game from Saturday, and then Eagle, pick one game from Wednesday that catch each of your eyes here.
Let me go back to the schedule real quick.
Yeah,
Let me start with the Wednesday game then.
Yeah.
There's one specifically that I'm kind of curious about, which is Toon Squad and Chat Rats.
Okay.
And because I find Toon Squad has been, I don't know what so I think this going down to, I think some of the other games it's a little bit more obvious in terms of who might have the advantage in them, but this Toon Squad Chat Rats, I don't know if that's a good matchup for either team.
Yeah,
Right? You know what I mean? Like-
I do know what you mean. Like, I don't know who has the advantage there.
Yeah, like squad wise, they're very comparable. Record wise, they're sort of close-ish type of thing.
I've seen improvements though from Toon Squad, and if they just played their game and don't let Chat Rats get the better of them emotionally, because Chat Rats can play with a lot of emotion, and if they channel that and hype themselves up and their teammates, that could get the better of Toon Squad. But if Toon Squad just ignore it, just play their game, to me they're like a 3-point favorite in this game.
Yeah, but that's why it's like it's too close to call essentially. In my mind.
Yes. Yeah. It's a game where it could be a 2-possession victory for either team, or it could be to who's better performing on converts.
Yeah.
And if you're giving me a convert game, I got to go with Garner Ross. He has just more reps under his belt, and I got to go with that.
And I think the reason why it's interesting to me is that Toon Squad has had a lot of what I'll describe as consistent inconsistency, where they've been in every game they've played this year, and they've lost by like a score or a little bit off, essentially, or they've won by a score or a little bit off. Versus Chat Rats have either dominated or gotten crushed, and so that's where I look at the records, and yeah, sure. You know, you have Chat Rats 2-5-1. That doesn't tell me. That could have easily been an 0-8. That could have easily been a 5-2, depending on the teams they got. Right? Toon Squad, at least they went 3-3-2, literally right down the middle. Their plus minus is 1, right down the middle. Right? They are mid in every definition, and so I feel like they should have the advantage here. But this could be that one game where Chat Rats just comes out and does really well.
And one of the reasons that could be, and it's nowhere, you won't see the answer on the roster. You'll see the answer at the location of this game. Manu, we've talked about this, the Laval Dome. I don't think the Laval Dome, we love the field. I don't think the Laval Dome is a good field for Garner Ross, who doesn't have like a great, a strong arm to throw a 48-yard touchdown pass when needed. I think though, if he gets the ball in his players' hands, they are shifty enough to get yards and first downs and touchdowns. But I have a feeling that it fits a bit better style of play that the Laval Dome field that is for Tyler Stewart and Chat Rats. So watch the Laval Dome maybe be a little tricky for Toon Squad here. Manu, a game from Saturday, which by the way, the Saturday games appear to be the double elimination bracket games, and the Wednesday ones the single elimination.
Before you get into that, quick things here. I'm looking for the matchup between Adam Mantel, who basically carries Toon Squad, versus Kyle Daniel and Doug McKernan, who potentially can come in and coach.
Oh, okay. He has 4 games played.
He has 2 games played, but if he's
okay.
on the sideline
on the
because
sideline.
he feels to come out for his boys,
Right.
that's like decades of FPF experience to help out and manage that game.
Which they've had in the past, in Tony Curry being on the sidelines. I'm not sure if there were anyone else.
Yeah, that was my point. We can move
Yes.
on.
Okay.
That was like
okay.
a drop and go.
Oh, okay.
type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks. And I just turned the clock on now, so that's awesome.
You're at 54.
Perfect. 5 minutes off. The tier 3, we're going in descending order.
No,
here.
we're not done with the Saturday games.
Oh crap! Saturday games.
You're
Okay.
worse
Saturday
than
game,
Mo.
Real quickly.
You're worse than Mo.
I think
I want a professional.
Yeah, get Mo back in here. Let's call Mo up. He's in Toronto. He said he called me actually. He said he's super bored. He has no car. He's in Toronto. He has no car. He's
Just Uber it and expense it.
he
This guy doesn't know how to travel for business.
he's like all I did was go to a Boston Pizza. He's like
He went to. I'm so upset right now.
he's like that's all there is. There's only Moxie's and Boston Pizzas here. Maybe where he is, he's a bit of a. It's Mo.
He's a fool.
He's a professional though.
He's a professional fool.
Professional fool. Anyway. Yes, Manu, give me your Saturday game here.
So my Saturday game will be the matchup against the matchup that is Only Flags against
Yeah.
Cookie Monsters.
Yeah.
I
that's
got a
good
couple
one.
friends on Cookie Monsters.
Yeah.
Felix, Jules, a couple guys from Diamond Bougie, and looking at that, I don't really know Only Flags, but by looking at their team pictures, looks like a bunch of young guys, young studs. They went 7-1, really impressive. I think it's not their first season in FPF. They have a couple seasons.
Yeah, a
under-
couple seasons
under
yeah.
their belt.
Counterpoint, their wins have not been against necessarily the best teams. So that 7-1 record is a little bit inflationary.
Yeah. So would you say false
False
kings?
King.
False
Kings
King.
alert.
False King
Kings.
alert.
Get the crown out.
Uh-oh.
Get it out, but yeah, it's George Spano is playing very well. 30 TDs to 4 interceptions, only 1 sack, as a 114.5 QB rating.
Yep.
Playing really well.
Yep.
But is Cookie Monsters with their Ira Division experience with a couple of guys they have, can they stop that offense?
That's going to be the question. I think that if they can figure out George Spano on defense, if they crush kind of his confidence early on, this game could go out of control in favor of Cookie Monsters. Though I've liked what I've seen from George. He's grown as a quarterback. With every rep you take, every smile you make. And you know what? I was going through their schedule, and I don't completely agree with Eagle on the false King alert. They beat Win Diesel. We just said that they improved. They weren't great early on, but they've improved and pitched a shutout in a playoff game. They beat Mutation, who got later added Jerry Beauboeuf. From IG team onto their team. They beat Megaron, who looked to me good early on. They kind of faded near the end. They beat Save the Turf Dolls, a very high, middle of the pack team in FPF, not just a middle of the pack in Tier 4. They're one of the more elite teams in Tier 4 that have a lot of experience, just like Cookie Monsters do. So, and they came away with a 20-18 victory. So, if George Spano has success early on in the first 3 drives, say, and is figuring out the Cookie Monsters defense and who's dropping and he's reading the field well, I think that Only Flags could come away with a 1-point victory. But I do like what Cookie Monsters offer with Felix Boutet running the ball as a quarterback, but defensively with him rushing potentially and Jules in coverage, like you said, that's a lot of middle and higher division experience.
So gonna be a good game.
All right, now we can move along here as we roll the playoff special of Calling the Audible. Again, I'm joined by Manu Alarbois, first-time analyst on the show.
Look at you doing a reset.
Yes,
Thank professional.
there you go. You asked for professionalism. God damn it, you're gonna get it. So yeah, as we chug along here, the co-ed, God damn it, the knockout round. As the knockout round continues, so do we here on the show with moving along to tier number 3.
We have a quick schedule change. Wide Open Bar has said they are unable to make the Saturday game because, surprise, they only have 4 players that have enough GPs eligible. Allegedly. Let's see. We got 1, and we got a 2, and we got a 3, and we got a 4. Yep. So they literally can't play their game.
4. I saw 5.
Nope. There's a 4. There's an 8. There's an 8. There's a 7. And that's it.
Oh boy. Well.
So that's a game that we already know the winner of.
Or Saturday. Again, that would have been against Griffin Nation, and that would have, because yes, we haven't fully concluded the first round. Not all the games were played on Sunday. Okay, we'll have to see what we can do there, if anything. Just closing out though, yeah, the other game would be Blue Dry versus Bébé Dragon Magique. Just Manu, it's been a strange season for Blue Dry. That's one of the teams that made the semifinals that Idaho Utah had to go through in a very high scoring affair. I've been very disappointed, shocked in the negative way with Blue Dry. Is it possible that they lose to Bébé Dragon Magique on Saturday?
It's possible. It's possible, really possible. But I think Frédéric Junot is going to turn it around. I from when I played against him, he throws a really good ball.
Yeah.
He's confident out there. Just gotta get back his confidence.
And how do they do that? Is it getting the balls in the hands of Guillaume Dufresne? Is it getting it distributing the ball? Is it what is it? What will lead to confidence for Fred Junot?
Fred Junot's he's gonna have to get his connection with Guillaume Dufresne on from the start. Guillaume Dufresne is a big receiver.
Mhm.
He's imposing on the field,
Yeah.
and if you feed him the ball, he's gonna get confident. And by that, the QB is gonna get confident.
Right. Yeah.
And after that, the whole team's gonna follow. So when we played them, they had confidence. We scored on the last play of the half. It crushed the confidence. After that, we won the game.
Yeah.
But when they played, they played with swagger. They played hard. They played with passion. They're a tough team to beat, and I think it's gonna be that for them. Play with passion. Play with. They seem a little bit flat.
Yeah.
3-5 for a team that went to the semifinals. It's under what I expected. But on the other side, you had Bébé Dragon Magique, who is a team that can really win any game out there.
Yeah.
Their quarterback, Guillaume Boulanger, he's a good QB.
Yeah.
He throws a really good no-look pass.
No look and
Yeah,
sidearm.
no-look sidearm. They're a fun team. They got a bunch of stud. Nicolas McDuff playing really well. He's tough to guard.
Mm-hmm.
He spreads the ball well. You got 4 receivers with 4+ touchdowns.
Yeah. 23 plus receptions.
That's it. So I'm not worried for Bébé Dragon Magique. They got a good offense, but like I said, it's gonna come down to the confidence of Bleu Dry for them to win.
If I told you, and I won't tell you the player name, but 9 receptions, I'll give you stats, and you tell me who that player is. 9 receptions, 21 targets, 105 yards. This is a player on Blue Dry.
And that's
a receiver.
For one game?
No, for the season.
For the season.
7 games played, 9 receptions, 21 targets, 105 yards.
Is that Yvan Desjardins?
It's Yvan Desjardins. These are not good numbers for a player that can be dominant on the field. I just saw him Monday night with Junkyard Dogs. I think he got more yards in that one playoff game with Jason Rossi than he did all season with Blue Dry. That's I don't know if it's you say it's Guillaume Dufresne. He gets the ball enough, and it's not that he needs more or less targets. And I do agree with what you're saying that confidence can breed through receiver and quarterback. But I think you got to get Yvan Desjardins a little more implicated, and that too is another recipe to get that confidence going. Not only is the 105 yards in 7 games like eye popping, it's the 9 for 21. Like there's where that connection hasn't been there. Now you don't want to go, forcing the ball in the playoff game where it's one. Now you're one and done. If you don't have the luxury of double elimination, so you don't want to throw the guy 8 targets if he has he's catching only one of them in that game. But if he's a rhythm receiver, right?
Yep.
If you get one slant to him and then another 10 out and a deep,
just get it going.
Then that's when you got to feed Yvan Desjardins. That's another way that confidence grows. And I do agree with you that a confident Fred Junot is a dangerous,
really dangerous. He throws a really good ball.
Yeah. in the divisional playoffs, is there a game or two that you would want to talk about here that's surprising, an interesting matchup, or anything that you see here?
If I'm looking right here, for tier 3, the illegal use of hands versus Joe Spanini.
Okay, yeah. What screams off the page for you on that one?
I don't know. I like those two teams, man. It's two teams that play with a lot of swagger. Guys that have a lot of experience, FPF experience on both sides. Joe Spanini is a team that it's kind of like big fat bats.
Yeah. It's pretty much that core.
Pretty much that core. We got our boy Joe Morgese on the team. AJ Zapatelli also, and his brother. I think this game's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because it's like the first seed, illegal use of hands, against Joe Spanini, who did they lose a game last week?
No, they won.
Okay, no, they won against.
They beat Born in the 80s 38-30 in their opening round matchup. Born in the 80s, of course, without David De Andrade, injured for the rest of the season. So they do have, for divisional notes here, Médéric Lezon replacing Dave at quarterback for Born in the 80s. So we do have a new quarterback entering the Tier 3 playoffs. We can talk a little bit about that after. But going back to that legal use of hands Joe's Panini game, I mean, legal use of hands is pretty much the favorite in this one.
Yep.
But it's possible that Joe Panini upsets them here. And what would be a key in the upset in the making here for Joe Panini? I personally think that their speed is tough to handle for illegal use of hands. We saw a little bit of their of illegal use of hands against Born in the 80s a few Wednesdays ago in Laval. And while we saw big bodies out there, they are big bodies that can move and are athletic, but not at the same speed that Joe's Paninis possess.
No, that's it. It's who's going to be able to stop AJ.
Yes, that's the key.
When I look at the defense of illegal use of hands, nothing really stands out to me. They play a really solid defense, but they don't have like that one player that I could say, okay, he's the stud of the defense.
Right.
It's more of a
collective.
The whole team is playing super well.
Yeah.
I mean, Bekim Borova is having a crazy season, two-way right now. 15 TDs.
On offense?
On offense, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So gotta give him a shout out. I've saw him play a couple times and really impressed by what he's doing. Barazoni has a great connection with him.
Yeah.
Like I circled this game because it's the best team. It's illegal use of hands
right.
against a team who can get streaky and can get a win. But which version of Joe Spanini, exactly, of the team is going to show up? Yeah, that's what we're going to see on Brossard at 7 p.m. this Saturday.
Oh yeah, because there's the good Zapatelli and then the bad Zapatelli who will come out and say, "Oh, I was sick on this game and I'm not feeling too hot." Especially like that Wednesday I'm referring to, Joe's Paninis were there at that field as well. The couple of times I peeked over, why are we throwing flutter balls over the middle of the field on 3rd and 15 when you can cut that in half and make it a 4th and 7 attempt? All things that Matthew Zapatelli knows. Of course, he's listening. Thanks for listening and subscribing to our show.
Or is he?
He's listening. Matthew, have a good night. And get that big fat bat out. So yeah, that's I agree. That's
he's gonna hear it in the morning, right? He's probably not judging.
Actually yes. Given the fan that he is, he's gonna watch in the morning first thing when it comes up. That's definitely one for to keep an eye out for. I have one. Yep. It's Team Sexy against the Penetrators. We talked a little bit with Mo. Mo and I talked a little bit about Team Sexy and how we feel about their dominance what, no, dominance is the wrong word. Their rise in tier 3 here, where they, I believe, had a 6-2 record to end the season. 5-2-1. Sorry, they had a tie in there. But beating on teams that usually I would have given the advantage to, like Rico Riders, losing only by 2 points to Born in the 80s. So they had a show me season where they did well. Versus a more experienced team, one that has a championship, an FBF Bowl Cup from last Tier 4 against the Penetrators. Personally, I think it's the Sam Anastopoulos versus the Twin Towers of the Penetrators and Nicholas Vaughn and Jared Boydman. Those two players are very hard to cover, especially in the red zone, especially on 2-point converts. And in Rocco is eligible with 7 games played. So those three, I'm not sure there's that Sam Anastopoulos as a single player. Even I'll add Mathieu Lafortune from Team Sexy. I don't think those two players are enough to really neutralize that trio of the Penetrators. I'm not sure if you agree or not.
I completely agree with you. Penetrators is a team that we played them in the first week of the season.
Yeah.
So, man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's a long season. So,
but they played us tough.
They played us really tough, and they're a good team. We didn't have our starting quarterback. We had Dave Kostowski replacing.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're dangerous, man. Like you said, they got the Twin Towers. They got Rocco, who's like a all-around stud.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
Every time I see him play, man, I'm impressed. This guy is so fast. Yesterday, you saw him all over the field every time.
The way he jumps balls from the second you release it, he's from 10 yards out, he can make and break on a ball so quickly that I don't think Ben Berbier of Team Sexy has seen that kind of athleticism before. So he can't make contested passes thrown in the way of Rocco Cristiano.
Yeah, but if we look at Benjamin's season, 33 TDs to 6 interceptions.
Yeah, that's
really
it. That he has shown that he can protect
agree.
the football, but against Rocco it's different. So let's see if that trend continues. That would be something that favors Team Sexy if they are going to win, is protecting the football. So let's see if that happens. I have a question here for you, Manu.
Yes.
And you've played with this team in the past, the Bandits.
Yep.
What is Emile Scaff going to have to do to beat a New Diablos defense, which when they're a full squad, like we saw in our game, when they're a full squad, New Diablos can pose a serious threat in this division. So I'm not worried about François Martin putting up 28, 30 points. Can Emile Scaff put up 28 or 30 to bring it to overtime or get the victory? And if he can, what is he going to have to do? What is he going to have to rely on to put up 30 plus points?
To me, Bandits, for the last time we played them, it was in the spring season.
Mm-hmm.
From what I conclude after that game, which they beat us.
Yes.
That was a really fun game to play.
Very.
Bandits, when Emile moves the ball with slowly and just grinds the game and tires out the defense, and defense gets frustrated. I mean, I got really frustrated that game because it's quick outs, it's hooks, but it's really efficient, and he has a really good connection with the snapper and everyone.
Yes.
If you look at the receiving stats for Bandits, it's not really like a one receiver. They got plenty of guys that can grab the ball and make some plays.
Mm-hmm.
Emile spreads out the ball really well, and I think that's gonna be the key for them if they want to try to frustrate that New Diablos defense. Yep. But that New Diablos team is really good. I like Louis Bégin on defense. He's a smart player. Yeah. And I think if New Diablos wants to win, Louis Bégin is going to have to play a great game. like he's gonna have to be a centerpiece of that team.
Yeah, I think if he comes up with one interception and a 2 touchdown game, that and sprinkled in with a convert here and there, I think that's enough of an influence from Louis Bégin to put New Diablos over the top.
Because we know that Alexis Bessette is gonna do what he does. He's a great receiver and he's got a great connection with François Martin. So if Bandits is able to take away Bessette, can Louis
be that second tier?
Exactly.
Yeah, that second tier that and I don't think the Bandits, they can take away Alexis Bessette. Darcy Gianni, he's a monster out there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they have that second level of defense to neutralize Louis Bégin. That's a good point there, Manu. Anything else we wanted to go through? I think those are pretty much all the matchups. And you know what? I asked this question. I kind of liked it in one of the co-ed divisions. Not all the. Nope, never mind that. We're scrapping that question.
Tier 2.
Yeah, we're moving on
Tier
to
two.
Tier 2.
Still
plus 20.
CRA, no longer CRA. I mean, they still are. They're just not in contention anymore.
Yeah, they lost on Monday
just
night.
CRA.
Just CRA. As mentioning that Yvan Desjardins. Actually, can you quickly pop open that score? Remember, Yvan Desjardins had 9 receptions on the season, 105 yards. I wanted to see. 5 receptions, 122 yards, 5 TDs in this game. Player of the week in Tier 2 very easily goes to Yvan Desjardins. So, yes, Junkyard Dogs, you move along. And we'll stick with Junkyard Dogs because I find this next matchup for them super interesting. It's Jason Rossi going up against Beer Belly Brigade. Last season, when Alex Fafard went out for Beer Belly Brigade, it was the one and only Jason Rossi that came in, filled in for 8 or so of their the rest of their season, really, where Fafard came in the last game. And so they have an idea, a concept of his playbook. I wonder if can Beer Belly's defense, which it's usually their offense that steals the spotlight on this team, can their defense, knowing a bit of Jason Rossi's playbook, does that give them an advantage to beat Junkyard Dogs?
I think because I mean, Jason Rossi he's a good QB, but he's a system quarterback. So you know he has really his reads, his plays that he likes to run. I'm really surprised at the 1-7 record from the Junkyard Dogs.
Me too, honestly. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. From
only 202 points for.
That
was the third lowest in the division, and I've seen him be super efficient, like you're saying. 1-7, 202 is disappointing.
And it's a team that usually plays Division 3, I think, in the winter and does not bad, maybe 4 or 5 wins. But yeah, Beer Belly Brigade, to me, I don't know if that's gonna be as close of a game as you may think.
Right.
I think Beer Belly is gonna.
It's a bad matchup. You think?
It's a bad matchup for Junkyard Dogs.
Yeah.
Beer Belly, man, they're really good. It's been a while they play together. They know, like, these are boys. They went to high school together, so they play really well. They have a strong defense, and I think that's going to be their key to stop this Junkyard Dog is just control the defense. And I mean, if you control them, you keep the game 2 scores, 3 scores. I've looked at their schedule. They had one game that was close that they lost. It was against Ambush, but the rest is like 2-3 score games that they lost. So just take the advance, take that 15, 16 point lead, then just control the game and let Fafard do his magic.
Over under 1.5 interceptions for Beer Belly Brigade.
So you mean Jason Rossi throws? I think it's going to be over 1.5.
Over, so
Jonathan Benoit probably an interception. Olivier Claveau.
2.5.
No, I'll just go with 2. Just
with
go
2?
with 2 interception. I think
Okay.
they're gonna get that.
Yeah, and honestly, if they get 2 interceptions, the way Fafard
He controls the game.
he controls it. Like that's it. He when he wants to pick up a first down when he's running, and it's like 3, 4, 5 yards. He's getting that first down.
He's gonna tire out that defense
as much as you try. Yeah. I think it's Brandon Bagley usually rushing for Junkyard Dogs, which is not a bad rusher. It's really tough to stop Alex Fafard. So I think it'll be close-ish, but when I say close, it's like one possession. One possession.
It could be 2.
Yeah. I moved away. This was a bad decision.
Here you go.
Yes, thank you. Let's see. Is there another game here? So, you know what? I hate to talk about it, but it's gonna be one of your games here, Manu. Diamond Bougie versus Ambush. I alluded to it a little bit in the previous episodes, or it was actually last week, where Ambush took down Kiss My In-Laws.
Yeah.
Pushed Kiss My In-Laws out of a number 1 seed all the way down to the 4 seed, which you're happy with. Me, not so much. Ambush is a tricky team. And we talked about Ben McMahon's ability now and more and more comfort level with going for 2.
Yeah.
I wonder if you bring that information over to Jules, who does go for 2, but not every single time. Can Ambush pull off the ultimate back-to-back week upsets in taking out Kiss My In-Laws, dropping them down to the 4th seed, and while you can afford the loss with being double elimination, you'd rather obviously not take the loss, because not only would you have to play a single elimination game, you'd have to play it at 10 o'clock after starting at 6 o'clock at Loyola. So I know you're on the Diamond Bougie side, but if you're looking at your opponent and what they do well, what would be some of the reasons that Ambush would come away with a victory? Because they do have strong points to their team. So
they really do. I got to give credit to Ambush. They turn around their season. I don't think they started really well. So they lost to That's What She Said.
Yeah.
Tied Arouche, lost to EZW.
That's 2-1 there.
2-1. So yeah, looking early on to the season, I was like, you have Ben, does not have James. Usually have James on his roster. How he's gonna do?
Yeah.
But he's got some good players on there. You got Kevin Donnet, who's an amazing snapper.
Yes.
Owen Berjarski, who I don't know him.
I've seen him.
Well.
I've seen him before. Even a few years ago, he was quarterbacking this Vultures team. But then came back with him as a receiver last winter season. GIHF.
Yeah.
Him and where is he? Agostino.
Yep.
They were both on that squad. Both good players. So you were.
That's it. And if I look at the roster, you also got Phil Roberts, who's a teammate of mine, who's really good, solid player. He's got a good connection with Ben also. And on defense, you got their leader on defense, Anthony Drysdale. He's a good player. He plays in the I division with Mangoose. Got a lot of experience from that. He's an aggressive defensive player, and that's going to be the key on defense. Don't throw a pick to Anthony, because that can change the game. And after that, Ben, he's really good to control the game.
Yeah, capitalize off the turnover.
Exactly. 42 TDs, 3 interception. That's QB of the year.
But if it's not Anthony Drysdale, no one else on this team had an interception. So you're saying that if Ambush is going to win, it's going to come off Anthony Drysdale having at least 1 interception. And then Ben McMahon, I think he has the way Ambush wins this game. For me, yes, Anthony Drysdale needs an interception. If someone else can get one, that's gravy. It's bonus. But Ben McMahon has to score on every single drive. To me, he has to. And if he doesn't, then he's gonna have to get at least 2 extra points to make up for those 6 lost points off a drive.
But you got to ask better questions, man. Okay, Manu, you have one answer. You have 30 seconds to think about it max. Which one player on Ambush do you want to moss?
I want a Moss Ben.
There we go. See?
The shortest player on the team. Okay, there, Manu.
I'll get
So
all
you're
the-
a bully.
I'm a bully. I want a Moss Ben. But yeah, it's a battle of two of the top QBs. You know,
Yeah.
when we look at the top QBs in tier 2, you have you, Jules, Ben, I'm
Even Jeremy White.
Jeremy White.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting names because
Quaid, Johnson, Willpower,
exactly
Chris Rive.
But if we look at the top 3
Right.
that are in conversation for QB of the year, when
Right.
I talk with, for example, Jerome or my boys, we talk always about Ben, you, and Jules.
Yeah. I'd have to say that would be the 3 that are usually in contention for quarterback of the year. Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah.
so we're ready for this game. We're happy to have a great opponent in the ambush, and looking forward to the matchup.
And if just quickly, if one advantage, what is one advantage that you feel that you have over ambush?
Félix Boutet.
In terms of a bit offensively, defensively, all of it, speed. Is it the speed?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Félix Boutet is a game changer.
Yeah.
From the first time I saw him played against him with Bandits a couple seasons ago, couldn't do anything. So now I joined him, and to me, he's one of the best players in the
Oh
FPL.
yes, it was a game of the week.
Game of the week,
Oh,
yeah, and we
yes.
got destroyed by Diamond Bougie.
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
So yeah, but to me, it's that, and every guy on the squad. I'm really glad to be part of Diamond Bougie. It's gonna take a team effort. We gotta stay focused and go out there and treat that game like it's a single elimination game.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to play at 10.
Yeah.
Which game on this list is going to be a blowout?
A blowout?
Yep.
None. 0. They're all going to be close.
All right, cool.
Although, yeah, I felt I didn't feel bad calling him out on the what was Mo's segment again? There was
I don't know what we did.
a Mo segment.
There's a Mo segment, yeah.
I called out Boys Are Back.
Oh, is that the one where you had to get that new song that I
Yes,
played?
yes, yes.
That was very weird.
Yeah, it was a good one though. But Le Pot à Bessette, if Fred Paquette Perot is there, he can just slice and dice any defense. And
Was it this one?
yeah, leave it on. Tune it down just a little bit. I'm calling it out again, Joe Cano. Come on, man. Don't let it be a blowout. You can run your offense against this team. Slow this game down into the mud. Lower it a bit more.
It's really low.
Oh, is it? Okay, I can hear it super loud. Just slow this game down in the mud. You have the athletes to compete with Le Pot à Bessette. Just keep it slow, grind it out, score your touchdowns on 4 or 5 possessions, convert on your converts, maybe go for 2, because Le Pot à Bessette, they can score quickly and often. So make sure you're ready and don't make this a blowout. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tier 1.
Oh yes, 9-10. It's we're going overtime.
Let's go.
Professional, Iggy. I need professionalism.
I got you. Yeah, we'll round up the calling the Audible playoff special here, knockout round special with Tier 1, of course. We did have a game Monday night, which featured #NR versus Never Overtime. Never Overtime with 0 wins in the regular season. Come away with a surprising
Houday
mark victory. Yeah, a Houday victory over #NR, where this game got a little heated. But
Where
luckily,
did the defensive hashtag and Argo?
I don't know. Where's the offense? Like, you have ballers on this team, and 4 touchdowns. It's not going to win you. If it's not going to win you again a game against Never Overtime, it's certainly not going to win you games against Terror Squad, Maroons, Cap Friendly Braves, where these teams constantly, maybe not this season, but just as a franchise, have consistently put up 40+ points. So definitely 27, not enough on Monday night. But as we look along for the other matchups in Tier 1, which is the most interesting for you, Manu?
For me, it's the Bless against 4-5 Ballers.
Oh, yes.
This is a game against 2 teams that have played each other in the past seasons. One couple Saturdays back, I stayed and actually watched the game in Brossard, Bless against 450 Ballers. It was a heated affair.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, they like each other after the game, but
Yeah.
during the game they
Yeah.
don't like each other, and
Yeah.
it's fun to see. It's the highest level right now in the Fall Cup.
Yeah.
You see 450 Ballers that have turned around their season after the injury to Dan Lazara, and they went with Ginsley at quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a great choice. I feel like he gives them the best chance to win games.
Yeah.
With his running ability and just finding ways to make
Yeah.
plays. We saw it in the game of the week against Royaume Luminaire. Although they did not won the game, they almost won.
Yes, they should have won.
They should have won.
Yeah.
I'm talking also. I'm talking about Ginsley, but you got Jared Taylor also, who's the double quarterback. They do
Yeah.
rivers. They do a bunch of stuff that is a bit unorthodox that we
Mhm.
don't really see, except for maybe Braves. But Braves more do like they drop the quarterback.
Right.
They don't really do the reverse.
The wrap, yeah.
The wrap around. But it's a fun offense. It's an exciting offense. A different offense than with Dan.
Yeah.
But is Bless going to be able to stop them and their high-powered offense? And I think they do. And that way, it's going to be like the Steve Arpesod way: control the game and grind the clock and just, kill the momentum, kill the morale of for Faro Ballers.
Yeah, it's really gonna have to be that way. That's what I'm seeing from their last game, right? That this is a classic Steve stat line: 26 of 31, so 5 incompletions, 275 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's that I worry that if he gets picked off once, could that be enough for 450 Ballers to get the victory? Because they did get the victory. Bless did 47-46 in that game you're alluding to at Brossard. Man, I think this could be whoever gets an interception, whichever side, Blessed or 450 Ballers. That could be the difference, the determining factor in this game. Because I think touchdown wise, these teams can go score for score. I think 2-point convert wise, these teams can go.
Yep.
They can match each other. That was the difference. It was Isaiah Lard's 1-point convert.
Yep.
That was the difference here. I really think whoever gets an interception, that makes the difference in that game.
And I think if you look at the 1-point convert, I don't remember the game, but it probably came down to like a decision from Steve.
Yes.
To go for one.
Yes.
I know you like to go for 2, but sometimes going for one
It's a smarter play.
It's a smart play.
Yeah.
And you see it right there with the experience of, but the whole team is experienced. You got Will Power, you got Marvin, you got Ariel Labradi, Craig Browning, who they had this season, who's playing really well with Steve.
Yeah.
I feel like they match well. Craig is a receiver that you don't hear his name a lot, but he's a baller.
Oh man, he's
and
great.
When he plays, he's focused. He goes out there and it's business. You know?
Yes.
I love that guy. He's really nice and he's a good player. And I'm happy that he has this great season with Steve.
Yeah, I totally agree there.
And with you.
Yeah. No, and it's really it's that. And you know me on the field too. When I'm on the field, it's all business, and he's the same way. So I definitely love him about that. And like we know the name Craig Browning because of our time playing in the bit of the lower middle divisions. So I've seen and I've been always super impressed with this guy. His vertical, the way he can outstretch and grab a ball that you think I'm like, I threw this out of bounds, and he just comes down with it.
He's
You're
gonna
like,
make the catch.
Okay, all right. Well, he made a ridiculous play. So yeah, awesome. He's a name like an X factor, I think. In for Blessed,
which is surprising because usually it's gonna be Marvin Steinberg, William Power, or even James Langshaw. But you have Craig stepping up in the big moments, and I think that's a credit to all the other guys that they look at all the other guys like, oh, I gotta focus Marvin, I gotta focus Will, and it leaves like maybe the 3rd or 4th best defender on Craig. It's gonna be tough.
And then the last question here for this game is, we know and we've seen it even from the on Instagram where Chris got it on a drone cam.
Yeah,
Isaiah Lard, with this classic pick off of a deflection from a quarterback. Is he neutralized though with a Ginsley Alexis at quarterback? He's great against pocket quarterbacks who just sit in the pocket and try to throw in the middle. You don't do that against Isaiah Lard. But Ginsley runs around. he buys time for his receivers to get open.
Yeah.
He like the wrap creates some confusion with Jared Taylor. So how much of an impact could or should Isaiah Lard have, or how much how much of an impact can he have? And is he critical for Blessed winning this game defensively?
It's a really good question, and I wonder, like, are they gonna go with Isaiah at rusher?
Right.
Because I think there can be a conversation there. I know he's one of the best rushers.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's a really amazing rusher against pocket quarterback like Joe Meyer, Jeff Rosenblatt, Kevin Wyatt.
Yeah.
Probably really tough to pick him as a rusher.
Yeah.
But he plays good. But there, would you want to take him and use him in coverage and maybe use someone else, maybe someone that could, like a James Langshaw, I think that could,
right.
I don't know.
Contain
exactly,
Jeansley and not let him get the edge and gain, because when Jeansley gets room and space, it's scary. It is scary because he can take it to the house. So that's an interesting point.
To me, like Jeansley, every time I rushed him, like I go for him and he waits, like
he
kind of
waits
for the
for
rusher,
you
like
to make
what
the
is the
first
rusher gonna
move.
do? Then he does the move and then he finds someone.
Yeah.
And with the guys he has on 450 ballers, they can make plays. It's an all-star team on there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's literally backyard football with AJ Gomes,
Jared,
Khalil Kerr, Jourdain Alexis, Jared Taylor. So then when he's just throwing it up and to his guys, normally these guys are gonna come down with it. Yeah. Is there any other game here as that we wrap up? Calling the audible here. Is it maybe Terror Squad? Never overtime. Can never overtime get another victory? Maybe you want to talk about your team, Run It Once, Mangoose, or have we talked enough about your teams? Maybe Maroons 2.0. You played against Chad Byers. What can he do in his first playoff game in a few years? Where did you want to take this last game?
Maybe like quickly on my game.
Yeah, let's go quick.
Because I also want to give a shout out to Mangoose, because last time we played them, they completely destroyed us.
Oh yes,
And like when the schedule comes out, I look, oh shit, we're playing Mangoose. No, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity for the Run It One squad to go out there and prove that was a fluke. Because losing by that much in a tier 1 game, it's a bit embarrassing. If I say so. But to move on from that game, I really like the Maroons 2.0 against KGP. It's two teams that to me are a bit similar.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In a way that you don't think about a crazy player on their team like AJ Gomes or James Drysdale, but they got crazy system. Maroons, Chad Byers, he's confident with his throws. He knows where the ball is. He's really precise. And they got some crazy players that I've never heard of. I know I didn't play as long as these guys, maybe.
Right.
And you got KGP on the other side with Phil Cutler, who's a smart quarterback. He's gonna, a bit like Steve, he's gonna grind the game. Yeah. And it's gonna be fun to see how Maroons reacts to that on defense with Matt Bond at the leading the charge on defense. What is going to be his plan to stop Phil?
So I think this game could come down to converts. Who are you more confident in with a last play of the game? Touchdown has been scored to tie it. No, a touchdown makes you down by one.
Down by one.
So you have to. You don't have to, but
you go for the win.
You go for the win.
Yeah.
Although, okay, let's talk. You know what? Let's talk about the scenario. You just scored a touchdown. You're down by one. Do you go for one and take it to overtime? Or do you go for two and go for the win immediately?
I've made this mistake before a couple of years ago in a 5B playoff game against, I don't remember the team, but with Air Force One. And we were down by one. We went for one and we missed it. So might as well go for two. And if you miss it, you miss it. And if you get it, because you got the ball, you finish. It's like in college football. You finish the game, you go for two.
Eagle, do you have any statistical inquiry, or statistical things?
Amazon, the BuzzFeed stats,
back it up or something. So the scenario I brought here is you get a touchdown at the end of the game. You're down by one. Should you go for one or for two? Going for one gets you the tie, brings you to a 3-round shootout in overtime, or do you go for two for the win?
I don't think there's enough data to actually figure out that exact situation.
Okay, fine, but what would you do? What's your logical thought thought
Depends
process
on how the
behind
game's
it.
been going.
Yeah, that's fair. If it's been offensive and you have been converting for two and you feel confident that you're gonna win the game for two,
Yep.
yeah, you go for two. But I think I think odds wise, you're better off going for one,
Force overtime.
force overtime, and then you have at least
Yeah.
two chances at getting more points in your converts on at least two chances out of three.
But to answer your question and to wrap it up,
yes,
I'd go with KGP and
Phil
Phil
Cutler.
Cutler just rolling to his to his
Yeah.
right and
Yeah.
finding someone on
Yeah.
the corner of the end,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
They do it very well.
You've
and
seen it too many times.
I've seen
right?
it too many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
And Phil Cutler, he has a good season this year. I feel like their team, they're pushing for a run for sure.
it is now time for.
A publicity advertisement from BuzzFeed.
Hey FPF players, looking to take your fitness to the next level? BuzzFit Gyms has a special offer just for you. Join us today with no initiation costs. Get ready to score big in the gym and on the field. Visit us at BuzzFit Gyms and seize this exclusive deal now.
It is also time for Games of the Week.
My favorite song of all time.
This
Yeah.
was just
I
like a
love this
random
one.
thing
I
that we
love
came
this
up
one.
with a
Yeah,
long
this one's-
time ago.
yeah, this
I
one's
love
good.
this song.
Yeah, this one's great.
It was, we need a track that's like 8 minutes long, and I was like, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So find something as long as it gets and play it twice.
Yeah.
And we did. All right, we're going to start in co-ed tier 1. Really only one game to predict right now, which
Yeah.
is Plenty of Fish Vultures.
I'll go Plenty of Fish. They're riding high.
Vultures by 50.
There you go.
Now, this game's only in a couple weeks, so
Yeah,
can
December
slow down a little
3rd.
bit
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Yeah. We're going to do co-ed tier 2, so we have a divisional playoffs coming up. Sub-Zero, and what you doing, Step Bros?
I'll go Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero also.
Who's going to carry the boats? Free agents.
I'll go Free Agents. I like what they did last game.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
And we're going to pre-predict the next games, Y and Y Predators.
I'll go Y and Y.
I'll go Predators.
And Kiss My Christmas Balls, at least we tried.
This one I can't pick.
I'll go Kiss My Christmas Balls.
All right, women's division. We have Brut and Wolfpack,
We'll go Brut.
Brut.
Vortex and Red Nation,
Vortex.
Vortex.
and XNX Red Bulls.
I'll go Red Bulls.
I'll go XNX.
Okie dokies. Then tier 4, we have Ramfins and Win Diesel.
I'll go Ramfins on that one, but it's close.
Ramfins.
Pasta Arabiat, Dewey Molasses.
No Joe Morghese for this one, and with Pasta, there'll be 6. So give me Dewey Molas.
I'll take Doi Malas too with that information.
Only Flags and Cookie Monsters.
I'll go Cookie Monsters.
Cookie Monsters.
Super Troopers, Save the Turf Hills.
Interesting. I'll go Save the Turf Does, but it's it is close.
Super Troopers.
Mutation and Hooday.
I'll go Mutation.
Who they?
And Bend Don't Break, Skull.
I'll go Skull.
You have to clap.
Skull.
There you go.
Toon Squad, Chat Rats.
Toon Squad, but the dome might be challenging for Gardner Ross.
I'll go with Chat Rats.
And Megaron, Meat Lovers.
Megaron.
Megaron.
Okay, tier 3. Do we want to talk about the Blue Dry Bébé de la Magic game? Because Griff Nation, we know what's going to happen. So
Sure.
let's just do it.
Sure. I'll go Bleu Dry, confident Fred Junot.
Me too.
All right. And then divisional round. Illegal use of hands, Joe's Panini.
I'll go Joe's Panini.
Oh, upset alert.
Yeah, upset.
Illegal use of ends.
And Idaho Utah Pimps, Killer Rays.
We both cannot pick it, so Eagle pick.
Nah, we'll do it next week. After the result. And then the other games we're going to skip because we don't have all the matchups yet, and we can wait a week. So we will.
Oh, yeah, we can wait, yeah.
Tier 2, Diamond Bougie, Ambush.
I'll go Diamond Bougie.
Can't pick it.
Easy W, The Stoics.
Easy W.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it's good, though.
I'll go with Stoics. Go Chris.
Yeah, playoff special here.
Playoff Chris.
Yeah.
The Infantry, Fins Up.
I'll go Fins Up.
I'll go Infantry.
Kiss My In-Laws, 30 Birds.
Kiss My In-Laws.
Yeah, I can't pick that one, and I just got some devastating news.
Beer Belly Brigade, Junkyard Dogs.
Beer Belly.
BBB.
Game Changers, Voodoo.
Game Changers.
Game Changers.
Les Potes Besset, the boys are back.
Pas ta baissette.
Pas ta baissette also.
And Arush, that's what she said.
That one's good. I'll go. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Mike P.
Yeah.
And our last 4 games, I'm going to start playing our outro track because I don't want to do the whole thing all over again. Blessed 450 ballers.
I'll go blessed again. Blessed.
So hard to pick.
Yeah, that's hard.
Blessed too, but really close game.
Run it once, Mangoose.
I'll go run it once in this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully not Mangoose by a blowout.
Terror Squad, never overtime.
Terror Squad.
Never overtime.
Ooh.
And lastly, Maroons 2.0 KGP.
I like what I seen from Chad Byers. Give me Maroons 2.0.
KGP with the upset.
And there we go. That's the show for this week.
Manu, thank you for joining. Very well done. Thank you for coming on. Eagle, thank you for
The man.
your work as always. And I don't do what Mo does because I am not Mo.
Good night, Ken Dorsey.
Thank you guys, and really happy to be part of the show.
Me out that